Now on CoastTV News.
An officer-involved shooting and a high-speed chase in Kent County. What police are saying happened. School board elections coming up on Tuesday. What you need to know to vote. Plus, costs climbing. U.S.-China trade talks continue, but experts warn of rising prices.
Well, it was a beautiful start to our weekend. Bright blue skies, a bit on the cool side with the breezy conditions, but we are warming up pretty nicely into our Mother's Day. I'll break down my latest forecast in minutes.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Good evening. I'm Christina D. Robertus. Welcome to CoastTV News at 6. We begin tonight with the ongoing trade war. U.S. and Chinese trade representatives are expected to meet in Geneva this weekend. Many economists worry the tariffs President Donald Trump implemented will mean higher costs for goods around the world. Jen Sullivan explains the impact it's having on the American economy.
The bustling Port of Los Angeles is one of the busiest in the world, bringing in billions of dollars worth of imports every year. But since President Donald Trump's tariffs took effect, cargo traffic here has dropped around 30%. Officials say they haven't seen traffic dip this low since the pandemic.
That's cause for alarm.
Mario Cordero is the CEO of the Port of Long Beach. That port and the Port of Los Angeles make up what's known as the San Pedro Bay Complex. Earlier this week, 41 vessels were scheduled to depart China and arrive here. But on Friday, that number dropped to 0, meaning no products were arriving from China.
We may be seeing empty products on the shelves. So this is now going to be felt by the consumer.
Most goods coming from China will be subject to a 145% tariff. Trump is hoping these taxes will entice more companies to make products in the U.S., but it will take a while for that to happen. And many economists say prices will go up.
Tariffs are going to have a much bigger effect on many more people.
It's not just items from China that will likely cost more. Tariffs on items coming from countries like Colombia could mean higher coffee prices. The U.S. government estimates that close to 30% of imported coffee beans come from Colombia.
It's going to affect every coffee shop in America, I think.
Colombia is also a major exporter of flowers, which could mean more expensive arrangements on Mother's Day. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Closer to home now, Delaware State Police are investigating an officer-involved shooting after a chase that started in Camden last night. Troopers say they spotted a stolen car outside the Walmart in Camden and they tried to stop it, but the driver sped off. Police say the car led them on a high-speed chase through Dover and Smyrna before crashing. 4 people ran from the car. Troopers say the driver had a gun and refused to drop it. He was then shot by police, the driver now in critical condition. The other 3 people were arrested and the trooper is now on administrative leave while the investigation continues. Attorneys general from several states, including Delaware, won a court order this week stopping the Trump administration from blocking federal funding. Delaware AG Kathy Jennings' office announced this week it temporarily stopped the administration from dismantling agencies that fund public libraries, museums, and minority-owned businesses. Library officials tell us efforts to maintain and increase all sources of funding are critical.
We already know from the county that we're going to be receiving less money. So we're having to take a hard look at our budget. And we're trying to figure out where can we cut corners at? What's going to happen?
Now, according to the Delaware Libraries Association, in 2023 and 2024, the state received $1.38 million in federal funding from the Institute of Museum and Library Services. Now to Rehoboth Beach, where the 4-year-old Grove Park Canal dock was built as a way to get to and from Rehoboth through the Lewis and Rehoboth Canal. But now the city says the structure is unstable and it's eroding. The city wants to stabilize the existing walls and they're eyeing 3 options. One is short-term monitoring and maintenance for about $43,000 or an immediate rehab for about $300,000. There are also 2 big projects on the table. The first, complete removal and replacement of the dock. That would cost about $1.9 million. Option 2 is removal of the dock and added slope stabilization, ringing in at about $1 million. Some locals we spoke with say they've just never seen the dock used.
My opinion is not to put the money into it. You know, use it for other things that are needed, necessary in the town. It's a great visual, but if it's not used, why put any money into it?
And at the city's meeting, commissioners did not decide on any of the options for the structure, but they did say they will re-engage with engineers, and depending on what they say, the city could reopen the dock in its current state for the summer season. Now let's go ahead and take a live look outside into Rehoboth, and our first alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono joins us now with a check on the forecast. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Christina. It's been an absolutely gorgeous day today. We've been very dry as well. Northwest winds, taking a live look into Salisbury, just a few high clouds there. We're at 70 degrees there with a west wind at about 13. Temperatures holding in the lower 70s for the most part. The cool spot, Lewis, checking in at 69. 72, Bethany Beach, 72 in Georgetown. That is our high so far today. And we are at 74 in Redden. You can see wind flow out of the northwest, anywhere between about 10 to 15. We've seen some gusts as high as 30 today, but we will see a weak trough push through tonight, just bringing a few clouds. High pressure is going to be in full control, keeping this system at bay at least for the next 2 days. So tonight looking pretty nice, partly cloudy skies, temperatures falling from the 70s into the lower 60s by around 10 o'clock under those partly cloudy skies, and our Mother's Day is shaping up to be spectacular. Warmer, we're going to be pushing 80 degrees for most of Delmarva, and then we turn unsettled as we move into next week. We could see multiple days of a rain threat. We'll talk more about that coming up in the full 7-day forecast. Christina?
All right, thank you so much, Chris. Well, the Indian River School District is holding its second current expense referendum on June 5th, this after voters shot down its first attempt this spring. The district is hosting 3 public meetings to highlight that referendum. The first one is on Wednesday, May 14th at Millsboro Middle School. The second, Wednesday, May 21st at Lord Baltimore Elementary School. And the last one, Wednesday, May 28th at Indian River High School. This referendum is asking voters to approve $22.5 million in additional funding to cover rising operating costs and maintain competitive salaries for staff. Also, speaking of schools, school board elections are happening Tuesday in Delaware. There are races in both Indian River and Cape Henlopen school districts. The Delaware Department of Elections says polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Voters must bring proof of identity and address, and the deadline for requesting an absentee ballot, that's already passed. So if you didn't get one, you're going to have to vote in person. And we are just getting started this evening. Coming up next, an inside look at the new Ocean City Museum, which is now officially open to the public.
Well, if you enjoyed today, you're going to love tomorrow. We're going to be about 10 degrees warmer for the moms on Delmarva. Temperatures rising into the lower 80s under partly cloudy skies. We'll talk about some rainy weather down the road in that full 7-day forecast here in minutes.
Well, what was once a bank in Ocean City is now a place that people can walk in and go back in time. After nearly a year and a half of construction, the new Museum of Ocean City, it's now open to the public. On the first level of the museum, the left side, it features the history of downtown Ocean City and stories of people from the past. The right side is dedicated to restaurants and hotels that have played a key role in Ocean City. And in the center, there's a safe that was kept from when it was once a bank. And one visitor we spoke with says she couldn't believe what she found there. It was the very hotel that her grandfather helped renovate during the 70s.
My family found this door pretty exciting. This is the Mayflower Hotel. There's a postcard of it, of a picture, and dining room place setting that we remember eating on.
And if you want to go up to the second level, the research library's up there. You do have to make an appointment. Once you make an appointment, you can see hundreds of archives from the past. Coming up next, welcoming Pope Leo XIV. Local Catholics share their thoughts on the newly elected leader.
And the good news, Mother Nature keeping things dry for the rest of the weekend and at least through Monday. But then as we go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we see those rain chances really begin to ramp up. We'll talk all about that and the rest of your Mother's Day forecast when Coast TV News at 6 continues. Our beautiful weekend is going to continue into our Mother's Day, but we are going to bump things up about 10 more degrees than where we were at today on Delmarva as we take a live look into Cambridge. Pleasant in the evening there, we're at 70 degrees, just a few high clouds filtering in. You can see temperatures across the region relatively uniform. New York City 72, Philly 74, we're at 73 in Norfolk. Here in locally, we're at 70 in Lewis, 73 Milton. And we're at 70 Milton, 73 in Milford. See winds right now anywhere between about 10, 20 miles an hour. We saw some gusts earlier upwards of 30 in Ocean City, and we had some 25-mile-an-hour gusts, but those winds are going to be calming through the evening. 72 was our high today, so right on average. 94 was the record set back in 1963. So highs are going to be soaring into the lower 80s come tomorrow, especially across the inland areas. Unsettled weather patterns are going to be developing. We're going to be dealing with one of those pesky cutoff lows again, so we're going to be dealing with on and off showers as we go through Tuesday, Wednesday, and even into Thursday. And then by the end of the week, it's going to be feeling like summer. Highs are going to be back up in the lower to mid 80s with a few afternoon thunderstorm chances. So we have a weak trough dipping through tonight. That's really going to just provide us with a few clouds. You can see a few high clouds filtering in from the south, all part of this big area of low pressure. This big disturbance is really going to stay stationary over the next 2 days, and then eventually it's going to push into our neck of woods and kind of be a thorn of our side. Overnight, partly cloudy, winds relatively calm, overnight lows in the mid 50s. So we wake up tomorrow morning looking pretty nice, just a few high clouds across the area. By the afternoon, we are in the lower 80s for much of the interior areas of Delmarva, and then we are looking at mostly cloudy skies as we go into Monday, but still on the mild side ahead of that area of low pressure. So a gorgeous Mother's Day, 82 Georgetown, 77 in Lewis. We're at 80 in Cambridge tomorrow, 82 Vienna, 80 Salisbury, 80 Pocomoke City. Along the coast, we're going to be dealing with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, so a gorgeous day no matter where you're at. 77 Lewis, we're at 77 Ocean City, and 75 in Bethany Beach. As we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, that's when the rain chances really begin to ramp up. And it's all thanks to that area of low pressure going to push northeastward and kind of just sit just to our west or maybe virtually over the area and spin shower and storm threats into the area. It's not going to be raining all the time, but it's going to be cloudy, damp into Tuesday with scattered showers. Could see a brief period of heavy rain late Tuesday into Wednesday. And then as we get into Thursday and Friday, we're going to see milder air filter in, and we're going to be dealing with an isolated storm threat as we go into Thursday and Friday. So we're going to keep the temperatures right around 70 for most of the week, and then as we go in the late week, it's going to feel quite summer-like. Humidity levels are going to be rising, but we do keep that shower and storm threat really in play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even into Friday.
All right, thanks again, Chris. Well, the world is still reacting to the election of a new pope. Pope Leo XIV, the first ever North American pope. He was elected Thursday afternoon, and Catholic churches across Delmarva were celebrating the historic moment. We spoke with several local pastors, including Father William Coco of St. Edmund in Rehoboth Beach.
Yes, he's from America. He was born here and he spent a lot of time in South America, but it's more about the man. It's more about his relationship with Christ and the kind of priest he's been all these years. I mean, you don't get to be a cardinal by chance. The man has obviously lived a holy life, and I just look forward to his leadership.
When we come back on Coast TV News at 6, we're talking late night limits, why Rehoboth Beach officials are considering implementing a curfew.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
Rehoboth Beach police say they were called multiple times this past week after large crowds of young adults were reportedly causing trouble. Littering, loud music, parking violations, smoking violations, even fighting, all things the police department says are getting out of hand there. Now officials are debating an emergency curfew. For now, it's just a conversation. No decisions have been made, but some locals tell us they think it's a good idea.
I don't like to see it. I'm at an age that I don't want to be a part of it or be around it.
I don't like seeing that. I have a family, I have a daughter.
Now, at the city's meeting, commissioners did mention how Rehoboth is actually the only beach town in the area without a curfew right now, so people may naturally come to Rehoboth to exercise more freedom. The city says the curfew will be considered at their meeting on May 16th. And we do have more news coming up after the break. Still ahead, a click warning. Tech support scams are getting more convincing, but how Google's Chrome update could protect you. Well, it looks like scammers are using AI to trick internet users, and now Google says it's beefing up its AI to fight them. The company says its artificial intelligence can detect tech support scams on computers. Those are the annoying pop-up windows that claim your device has a virus. They try to trick you into clicking for tech support or downloading security software. Google is also updating its Chrome browser to identify scams in real time as users visit web pages. Coming up next on Coast TV News at 6, a storm drain rescue with a happy ending in Kent County. We'll be right back. Take a look at these pictures. It was a bit of a feathered frenzy in Kent County this morning. Some ducklings took a wrong turn. They ended up stuck in a storm drain. Kent County paramedics and DelDOT came to the rescue, saving all 15 babies and reuniting them with one very grateful mama duck.
Some good news there, and you can get your forecast anytime by dialing our First Alert weather phone. And happy Mother's Day to all those great moms out there. We're featuring a few special moms. My mom Marianne here and I at the Flyers game down the shore. We have Christina with her mom Debbie, and then we have Matt Hipsman down there with her mom. A gorgeous Mother's Day with a temperature of 83 degrees on the peninsula. We're looking at 79 on Monday. Clouds increase though, and then we settle into quite an unsettled weather pattern Tuesday through Thursday with on and off showers and storms. But it's going to feel pretty summer-like by the end of the week.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Chris, especially for that cute graphic of all the moms. And thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 6 tonight. For more news and local weather, you can always download our Coast TV News app and be sure to join us again tonight at 11. Until then, have a great night.